Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at something a little bit different with complementary and supplementary angles. And so I want to start with a kind of simple type of problem before we move on to the more complicated stuff. So remember that complementary, remember C comes before S, so 90 is going to come before 180. Complementary is going to add to 90, supplementary is going to add to 180. So if I want the supplement of an angle, for example, this was 123. If I want the supplement of an angle, the question that I'm asking is, I've got an angle that's 123, and then I want another angle with the goal that if I add 123 to that angle, I'm going to get 180. So that's the goal. And if you think about solving this like an equation, what would I do? Well, I'd subtract 123 from both sides. So if I want the supplement of this angle, then I would take 180 and subtract 123, which is 57. So the supplement of a 123-degree angle is 57 degrees. Next one, 75 degrees. We're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to take 180 and subtract my angle, which is 75, which will give me 105. And again, this is the supplement because if I take the angle I had, 75, and add the angle I just got and add its supplement, 105, 75 and 105, guess what? It's 180. So the two angles would add to 180 degrees. That's what makes it the supplement. And this pattern is going to continue and let us set up the equations that we're about to do. So in this table, I have the angle over here, and I want its supplement. Well, the supplement of 60 is going to be 120. Why is supplement of 60 120? How did we get there? We took 180. We're going to take 180 and subtract the angle in question, which is 60. And we take 180 and 60 and subtract them, then we get 120. And this pattern is going to continue. Whatever the angle is, we're going to subtract it from 180. So if the angle is 153, I'm not going to write down the answer anymore. I'm more interested in this pattern of subtraction. 180 minus 153 will give me the supplement of the angle. If the angle is 27, well then I would take 180 minus 27. And that would give me this supplement of 27. So if the angle is x, that's not going to change anything. The pattern is still going to be 180 minus x. And this is, if you think in algebra, this is what a variable does. It lets things vary. It lets you say that this is a pattern, and to generalize it and say, I don't care what the number is that I put in here. If I want its supplement, the pattern is going to be I take it and subtract it from 180. That's the process. So let's move over here to complement. The complement of an angle. Well, the only difference here is going to be that complement this time is going to mean that I add things to 90 instead. So if I have 60, then the complement of 60 is 30, because 30 plus 60 adds to 90. So the complement is going to be 90 minus 60, which is 30. So the only difference here is that we're using 90 instead of 180, but the pattern is the same. If my angle is 7 degrees, then the complement is going to be 90 minus 7. Equals, I don't care right now, I'm just looking at the pattern. If the angle is 78, then I want the pattern to be that I take 90 and subtract that angle, which is 78. And again, if I have the angle being x, then my pattern would be to just do 90 minus x. And so that's my pattern for complement. And so this is the part that you want to make sure that you write down. If I have the angle that I don't know, then I want to just use x to stand for that angle. So if you see angle or measure of the angle, that's going to be x. If you see complement of the angle, remember our pattern was that we took whatever it was and subtracted it from 90. So 90 minus x is going to be our pattern whenever we see complement. 90 minus x for complement, and then supplement, our pattern is going to be to take 180 minus whatever our angle is. 180 minus x. This is what you want to make sure that you write down. This is our pattern for finding the complement and supplement. Because what we're about to do is we're about to look at examples where we write down an equation based off of a sentence about the angles. So we're going to be looking for some of these key words like complement and supplement and measure of the angle, and then maybe some other words that you have kind of been trained to look for as far as those patterns go, like if I want 5 more of something, or if I want to talk about the sum, those are keywords that should cue you into addition. Same idea here. As soon as you see complement, then brain should cue into, 90 minus x. That's what I'm going to write in my equation. So let's take a look at one of these. The first thing we want to look for is where our equals sign is going to go. That's going to be our first step. Figuring out where the equals sign goes. And the key word here is actually a very short word. And you may use it without even thinking about it, because when you talk about 2 plus 2, most of you don't even say 2 plus 2 equals 4. If I say, what's 2 plus 2, you would usually respond with 2 plus 2 is 4. That's what you would use in place of equals. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So that key word is going to tell you where the equal sign is going to go. So I'm going to read through my sentence, and I'm going to wait until I hit the word is, and that's where my equal sign will go. The measure of the supplement of an angle is, there's my equal sign. That's where my equal sign is going to go. So I'm going to look at the rest of the sentence, and everything to the left of the is going to go to the left of the equal sign. And everything to the right of the is going to go to the right of the equal sign. So on the left side, the measure of the supplement of an angle. The measure of the supplement. Supplement, well, we said back here that supplement was going to be 180 minus x. So that's what we'll put. 180 minus x. Is anything else happening to that supplement? It doesn't look like it. We're just measuring it. Then over on the right side, we have 8 times the measure of the angle. The measure of the angle. Oh, we're talking about the angle? That means we're just going to write x. Just x to stand for the angle. And then is anything happening to the angle? Oh, yes, there is. We want 8 times the measure of the angle. So 8 times that, that's multiplication. So 8 times x. So here's my equation. The measure of the supplement is 8 times the measure of the angle. So now we're going to solve this equation. Get everything with x on the same side. So we'll add x to both sides. So we'll have 180 equals 9x. Then we will divide by 9. And we're going to get x to be 20. x to be 20. Oh, that means that our angle is 20 degrees. Our angle in question is 20 degrees. Now, the last thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we've answered the question that we're looking for, which is find the measure of the supplement. We want to make sure we're finding the thing that we're being asked to find. So the supplement, well, we know our pattern for supplement. Our pattern for supplement is to take 180 and subtract whatever angle we have. Oh, now we know what it is. It's 20. So we're going to take 180 and subtract 20. And that turns out to be 160 degrees. So 160 is the measure of the supplement, which is what we're being asked to find. And we can actually double check that this is right, because if we're looking at the supplement and we're looking at the angle, here's the supplement, 160, here's the angle, 20. If I take 20 and multiply it by 8, like I want to look at, 8 times the angle, if I take 8 times 20, guess what I get? 160. So that tells me that I'm right, that it is true that if I have a 20-degree angle, the measure of the supplement is 8 times the measure of the angle. 60 is 8 times 20. 160 is 8 times 20. So just to recap one more time, here's our steps. We're going to look for our is. That's going to tell us our equal sign. Then we want to set up our equation with the left and right side. We want to look for keywords for what's happening to those angles and the complements and supplements. Solve your equation, and then make sure that you are finding the measurement that you're being asked to find. Next problem. Read it and see if you can set it up before me. Pause and see if you can do it. I'll give you a few seconds before I start again. Okay. The measure of an angle is, there's our equal sign, 18 more than 3 times the measure of its complement. All right, here's our equal sign. And we're going to look at what's going on the left side first, the measure of an angle. And the measure of an angle, so we don't have a complement or supplement, we just have the angle. So I'm just going to use x to stand for the angle. Is 18 more than 3 times the measure of its complement. Okay, that's a lot. If you got a lot going on one side, and it's usually the right side, if you got a lot going on one side, what I would suggest is to split it into pieces and work backwards. Work backwards. So in this case, I have 18 more than 3 times the measure of its complement. So I'm going to start at the end. Start at the end with complement. Complement, oh, we know what complement is. Complement is 90 minus x. 90 minus x for complement. So we have, that's the measure. That's the measure of the complement. Oh, but we don't just want the measure of the complement. What else do we want to do to the complement? We want to take the complement, we want 3 times the complement. So if I want 3 times the complement, I'm going to take this and multiply it by 3. 3 times the complement. Wait, I don't just want 3 times the complement. I also want 18 more than 3 times the complement. So 18 more is going to be adding plus 18. So there's our equation. We have 18 more than 3 times the measure of the complement. So work yourself backwards if there's a lot going on, and then read it back to yourself and see if it matches what you are reading, that your equation matches what you're reading. All right, now let's solve it. The key thing for solving this one is that we want to distribute. We have 3 times this whole thing, so we want to distribute the 3 across here, and we want to distribute it across here. 3 is multiplying both of these things. So we have a 3 times 90 here, which is 270. And then we have a minus 3 times x here being 3x. So it should look like this. Still an x on the left side. We got a 270 minus 3x, that's distributing this, plus 18. Oh, 270 and 18, that is 288. Then from this point, it's fairly straightforward. We want to get everything with x on the same side. So we get 4x equals 288. Then we're going to divide by 4 to get rid of the multiplying, and we get x to be 72. So the angle is 72 degrees. Let's make sure that we're finding the thing we're being asked to find. Oh, the measure of the angle. So 72. There we are. So let's do one more. Let's do one more. And this is going to be out of your homework. So if you go to the worksheet, then the first question on the homework. This is the first question on the homework. So pause and give it a try yourself, and then I'll show you how it should be set up. Got your equation? Okay, let's check to see if you're right. The measure of an angle is 5 less than 4 times the measure of its supplement. Let's start with the left side. The measure of an angle. Measure of an angle, okay, that's just x. Is anything happening to the angle? No. Not a complement or supplement, so we just have x on the left. Equals 5 less than 4 times the measure of its supplement. Again, it's going to help you to work backwards here. So I'm going to start with supplement. Well, supplement this time, supplement, remember, is the one that adds to 180, so we're going to have 180 minus x. But I don't just want the supplement, I want 4 times the supplement. So we're going to take this supplement that we have and we're going to multiply by 4. But I don't just want 4 times the supplement, I also want 5 less than 4 times the supplement. 5 less is going to be subtraction. So we're going to have a minus 5 there. And then I'll give you one more step to get going, which is the distributing. We're going to distribute the 4. So here I've got 4 times 180, which is going to be 720. Big number, but it's going to work out. Minus 4x minus 5. So that's how our distributing is going to work out. We're just going to multiply each of these things by 4. And then you should be able to solve it from there. So that's all we're going to have for this week. Test is going to be pushed to next week. And if you have any questions, then feel free to contact me and we'll set up a time to get going. Just let me know when you're available and we'll get together and work on things if you need to. So that's all for now, and I'll talk to you next time.